seems to be a season of purging. Um, in order to rebirth something new, you need the room. So that means you need to purge the old, not suppress it. You've got to lighten the energy so it can circulate, and then you've got to literally get it out of your body. And this can take so many different forms. And most of them, for me, are active. They're not passive. They're not turning inward. There is an inward turn involved with it, but it's not a lay down and drown in the sludge. For me, it is a push the edges, run your fingers along the edges and see if you can find a crack. It's pushing my body to its limits. It's literally emotionally kind of enacting the act of purging to get things up and out of my body. That really seems to lighten what I'm carrying. And that's mandatory right now. I just don't have like the urgency I'm feeling. I don't have room for the old stories of guilt and shame and helplessness. That doesn't mean that they're not real. They are real and they need to be looked at. And you can love yourself through them, but you've got to move the energy. I know many people that have been in therapy for many, many years, but they don't do the according work. So that's amazing for identifying the story, but they don't do the according work of physically moving it through your body. And retelling that same story, even with different details and different perspectives, is not going to move the energy. So for the rest of this week, my focus is whatever I can do to increase my circulation, of rid myself of what's not necessary. And sometimes that's journaling, sometimes that's working out, sometimes that's reaching out, and or even just I just want to offer you one more thing that I do. If I've got something tough that's stuck that I don't really know that I want to share yet, I make a voice recording. So it's important, I think, to speak aloud to yourself. And when you make a recording and you can hear it back, you can kind of have, first of all, you have a lot of empathy for yourself as you kind of make this brave work happen. But you also can have appreciation for what to do next. You might hear something in there that when you're in the act of speaking it, you don't hear. So that's something that I do often. And I recommend you try it, especially if it's something that's kind of sticky, that you can't kind of get into, you can't figure out your approach. I suggest talking it out loud to yourself, and then listening to your testimony. So I actually think that I need to do that today. So that has what has come up for me today, and I will see you tomorrow.